Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel. This is the Crucible of NYC. I'm your host, Domingo. I have a product today here, an induction cooktop that I would like to review with you folks. This is the iSiler Induction Cooktop model CHK CCA02. This is an 1800 watt induction cooktop. This supports 18 levels of power levels that you can choose from. It has from 100 watts to 1800 watts. You can increase the increments of the power level at 100 watts at a time. And if you long press the power level, the plus, you get up to 300 watts in increments at a time. This also has 17 presets for temperature. It has a range from 140 degrees Fahrenheit and 60 degrees Celsius to 460 degrees Fahrenheit to 238 degrees Celsius. This can be set in increments to increase by 20 degrees Fahrenheit and long press for up to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So this has of a wide variations for pots and pans. This has for 6.7 inches in diameter for frying pans to fit like a frying pan, and up to 8.6 inches from wall to wall using the different types of pots. This comes with an instruction manual and a magnetic tester that this uses. You can use this tester to test your pots to see if they're compliant with the cooktop. This is just a base magnet in the back, and you can just test it with your pots and see if they stick. If they magnetize from the bottom, then you're good. You don't have to purchase any other types of pots. If it doesn't, then you know that you need to buy different types of pots. In the instruction manual, it's exactly what I've read. It just gives you a brief introduction, as well as the information of what to do and what not to do. And here are the temperature gauges, the amount of power it consumes, the measurements, and as well as the information exactly of what I just read to you with, as well as this has a child protective safety lock right here that you can hold down for 3 seconds, and this activates the child protective lock, so it prevents any children from touching these panels and these panels become inactive. So once you press and hold it for 3 seconds again, it activates the panel. So I would like to just show you pretty much that simple pot. This is a 10-inch pot from Tools of the Trade. This is a stainless steel pot, so usually these are the ones that you would try to use this magnet to test it. And you see that it sticks, you know that you're good. So always use this to test on the pots. And if you use a non-stick pot, you know that that's not going to work because these are not magnetized. And this has been beat up for years. I mean, I've had this pot for years, but these non-sticks are no-go. Go with the stainless steel pot or a cast iron pot that would stick the bottom to this to magnetized. So it's just a simple setup with simple instructions. You press the power, it's going to enable the power, but it's going to give you an error message if there is no pot on top of the base. So in other words, you have to have the pot in the element, and then press the power button on, and then you won't get that error message. So what I have connected to this power outlet is connected to my battery pack, the Bluetti AC200 Max. And what I have noticed too with these cooktops is that in the power rating, you see that it says it's 87 watts that it's consuming for just on idle. So if you do decide to purchase something like this, please make sure to unplug this from the wall, because 87 watts of power consumption by the hour, it's going to raise up your electric bill, and I don't think you want to pay extra money. So as you can see here, it says 87 watts being consumed from the Bluetti, and that type of power you want to make sure you conserve in your house. As you can see, nothing is on. It's just like a standby, I guess, to charge the capacitors. It doesn't turn off. I've left it there for a while to see if it stops draining the power, and it doesn't. So I also have a thermal imaging camera that I would like to try, so that we can test the heating of how fast it takes, and where the heating part is for these type of devices. So what I do have is a small 6-inch pot, just basic water. And being that it's a smaller diameter, as you can see that the bottom is 6.7 inches. So what you do is that you can use a measuring tape, and from the bottom of the base, you can see that you can measure it's literally 6 inches. I'm not going to turn it upside down because there's water in there, but you can use this to measure the bottom of the pot, as well as this one, the frying pan. You can see that it's about 8 inches in diameter. So this one is what you were going to use if you want to fry any type of like eggs or anything like that. I would say go with a big frying pan or a smaller one. It doesn't matter, either or. But the whole sense of it all is that being that the diameter is wider, it makes it available to heat the whole pan. So if you do use like a frying pan, like this 10-inch frying pan, you can see that it covers it heats up the whole area of the frying pan. Now, I have seen some cooktops, some induction cooktops, that the heating element is a lot smaller, 6 inches, which is the size of this. And if you put a 10-inch pan on a 6-inch diameter, you're going to lose some heating elements. So the outer part of the pot or the pan or whatever it is that you're using, it's gonna remain cold. Well, not cold, but warm. It's not as hot as it would be in the center port. So we'll go ahead and we'll test this out. So we'll go ahead and press the power button, and we'll go through the function button. And this is 600 watts of power. So from the app, you could see it does give you the 600 watts. And this is just regular 600 watts. And then so what we can do is we can increase the temperature to 700 watts. And you can see that the Blue Eddy is pulling 700 watts. So when we use the camera, the thermal camera, you could see, I don't know if you could see there, but in the thermal camera, that portion of the outer layer is warming up. Now the pot is still cool on the top, but the bottom portion, you can see that it's heating up. And you can see there, it's heating up. So what we could do is we can lift this, and what's cool about this is that if you lift this, it starts to shut off. So it gives you the error message. So this is still warm to the touch. So this is according to what it's telling you. It's giving you like about 115 degrees Fahrenheit, that this is as hot as it is right now. So that beeping is just letting you know that there's nothing in there. So what I do find it strange is that I think that this should have been deactivated quickly and set to a cooler temperature, but it's not boiling hot, but it's warm. So 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can see that in the pot already started to put some condensation in the pot. So it's just warm. So it's like about 68 degrees. So I heard it stop now. So what we'll do is we're gonna put this on, and we're gonna set this to a boil and see at 1800 watts, see how fast this could set the boil. So 1800 watts, and the Blue Eddy is cranking it at 1.6 kilowatts. And the Blue Eddy reads that 1.6 kilowatts. And then so we'll go ahead and we'll put the thermal imaging camera on this, and we'll see how hot it can get. So from here, it's reading like about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I do hear like the buzzing sound of the induction coils, because that's electricity. So it's normal to hear something like that, like the buzzing sound, because this is high coils, electricity going through from that device, and it's touching the pot, so it's magnetized. So that pulls up the coils, and all this electricity comes through. So right now it's been like about a minute. I should have set my timer, but it would be, normally it takes like about, I would say about 4 or 5 minutes before it starts to boil the water. So we'll just lift up the lid, and we'll see the bubbles of the water. And through the thermal imaging camera, you see that it's reading at about 130 degrees, almost 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And let's see if here. And the bottom coil, it shows you what it's still the same thing. It's about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So the bottom portion of the coil, 140. And then so far in the pot, it's about 139 degrees, 140 degrees max. Looks pretty trippy with the, with the thermal camera this way. So, and now when we'll look at the power of the Bluetti, it says that it's about 1600 watts that's being pulled from the Bluetti, and the Bluetti is at 94%. Now remember, the Bluetti is a pretty powerful device. To use this type of power, 1600 watts out of your outlet, you should be fine. Now, I wouldn't recommend using those 1 kilowatt battery packs for this. I mean, in an emergency, yes, you can cook these things in a small battery pack, but I would suggest using like a 2 kilowatt power battery pack so that you can get the proper heating. So about 3 minutes in, we're getting a boil. And so this is at about 157 degrees Fahrenheit, 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And now the water's coming to a quicker boil. And remember, this is a smaller pot, so it's gonna heat up a lot faster than a bigger pot. So we have, it's up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, 177 degrees max, 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So I can hear the fans going on the Bluetti. And so I'll try to lift this up so you can see the Bluetti. And then we can put the thermal imaging camera on the Bluetti, and we can just see a little bit of warmth coming just from the display screen. But the actual unit itself, it's fine. It's not that hot. It's only 80 degrees. The whole unit itself is not even hot whatsoever. So we can hear the device, the induction cooktop, buzzing a lot more. And it's also because the water's boiling at a higher degree temperature. So right now we're at close to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, we're at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, so I'd say within 5 minutes, this comes to a boil very fast. So when we started the battery pack on the Bluetti, when I started putting this, it was at 98%, and now we're at 90%. So we took like about 8% of the battery pack at full charge. It was at full charge, but again, because of the 87 watts of drain of power, that's where it was like slowly draining the battery pack. I was preparing everything up and just making sure everything was set up and just letting it sit. So that usually with these types of devices, they're pre-tested from the manufacturer, but I would advise before powering it on, just let it sit for like a couple of minutes and then turn it on. But for now, it seems like with 8% of the battery, this is what it took to a boil for like 4 to 5 minutes, and the water set to a boil. I mean, this did boil this very, very fast. Why would I have one of these things? It's because of one reason. If you have a power outage, and for example, normally in buildings we have gas power, but say for example, something happens that the gas doesn't work. You have another way of cooking something at home without having to rely on like the gas is not working, or if you have an electric stove in your apartment and it's not working. This is something that you would definitely put to invest into keeping like just for something to prepare yourself at home. In case like you get food and you get all your stuff, you could always cook it with this. But I am actually pleased because this is actually, I did not power this on or boil this. This is actually the first time I turned this on to a boil. I did connect it to turn on and make sure it powered on, but I didn't actually use it. So what my suggestion is, and what do I think? I think this is a great device because again, you have to count and take into consideration that if there is no gas, you have another way of cooking something at home. or even if you're on the go. And if you're somewhere and you want to cook something, this is a better way to keep something portable. And with a battery pack, you should be good to go. So I hope that you folks found this useful. If you have any questions and if there's something that you wanted to see more, or I mean, this is just a basic induction cooktop. It's not something out of this world, so it's the same thing. So right now, just to take a quick glimpse, right now it's at about 180 degrees and cooling down. Now these things, I see people putting their hands on it and testing, and listen, anything that deals with heat, stay away from it so you don't get burned. So right now this is just at 176 degrees Fahrenheit. And I would just say that, yeah, this is a great thing. Just wait till it cools down and put it away. But always have some kind of backup of your stove or something just to be prepared for, if SHTF. And just take care, folks. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them on the comment. Take care.